Welcome to God Ours, a podcast and a project specifically designed for all the travelers that come to Italy seeking wellness, spirituality, and the most up-to-date forms of mind and body care. Welcome to the Public of God Ours. We're here today with a very special guest, Dr. Gisela Stramer from Austria. She's actually resident in Italy, but since 40 or 50 years, I don't know. But also you're a citizen of the world. Hi, Gisela.
Hello. Nice to be with you. Now, what do you want to know?
Well,
it's a lot. It's my whole life. So I want to introduce myself by how I started. Since I was a little girl, I was taught by my mother how to utilize the gifts of Mother Nature. With love, she really was very strict if you did something against nature. So she taught us how to utilize all these gifts with love, respect, and wisdom. There's an old wisdom in all this. I grew up in the countryside in Austria, in southern Austria. And our lifestyle was based on the rules of nature, like discovering the secrets of the moon and living according to his rhythm. So we were very careful to do, let's say, to cleanse our body in the right waning moon. If you do it in the growing moon, it's quite different. It doesn't work like this. So she taught us all this kind of things. We used to detoxify in the waning moon, and we used to regenerating cures. We paid very much attention to all this. So, or when we cut the hair and the nails, we also used the calendar of the moon. This was the way how we prevented or eventually faced our physical, emotional, and mental discomfort. Our eating habits were completely different from nowadays because we really had a big breakfast and we really had a good lunch, and then we didn't eat. I mean, we had a small dinner at 6 o'clock. So the body, it was, again, according the rhythm of the body, the biological rhythm. So what do you want to know?
I want to know how did this experience of your growing up as a child come then into a job position and into a lifestyle in your current life?
Because I always was interested in nature and I was very intuitive. So I could feel people. What does it mean? I just sensed them. Anyway, my mother never could hide anything from me because I found it immediately. So I was very intuitive, and my intuition told me not to study economy, but to do something else, to do something what has to do with touching, with the body system. And later on then I was very interested in the subtle energy of the bodies, because our body is only a small part of us. Then we have all the subtle bodies around our physical body. So I studied this for quite a long time. And, everything comes in the right time. It's not, I didn't start with, going into other dimensions and whatever. I started with the body. And then slowly with the chemics of the body, and then with the subtle energies of the body. Okay? So,
when you first came to Italy, there was not that much a culture of spas and of centers where you take care of the body in this way. So how was the story? How did the story develop? Where were you?
Yeah, because I started to work in Calabria, which was really maybe 60, 70 years behind Austria. So this was my first job in a thermal bath. And this was quite challenging because, first of all, they didn't know anything about timing and being punctual. And I started with physiotherapy. But even so, they didn't want to undress. So for me, it was very difficult to understand. So I started to feel, because if they don't undress, especially women, and so they're shy, and down there they're all shy and whatever, it's a sin. And so I started to sense, I said, oh, you have a pain here and they have a pain. I mean, I didn't even study that. I just had to do it because they didn't undress.
Uh-huh.
So I had to do it in a different way. Yeah, then I did physiotherapy, and then I started with American instructors the kinesiology, and then I studied with in Switzerland biological medicine, which doesn't mean anything here, but I learned a lot, and I had very interesting professors, and one of them is Via Cava from Milano, and we did the geopathy and the energy from the earth, the energy from the cosmos, and then I went to Germany, to Koblenz. There was a physicist, American physicist. He was already 80 years old, but he taught me how to feel with the hands. And there was also a lady, she instructed us. But we learned maybe from 100 meters far to test a tree, to test the aura of the tree. So I started to do that, and then I did it with people and with the subtle bodies, subtle energy bodies. And then there's a lot to say. Come on.
Well, but you've taken care of thousands of people in your life, I would say. And how did they get this evolution from being more physical in taking care to a more spiritual, let's say, invisible level? Nowadays, you take care of the subtle part of the body. Is that correct?
Yes. But this is exactly my talent, because I used immediately I used non-verbal communication with them. I didn't really know it that I did it. But I said, now this is like this, and this I will do light therapy on you, or I will work with. They just said yes. I never had a difficulty. They never said no. They were interested, actually. But even doctors, sometimes they told me, listen, just do what you want to do, but don't tell me. Because, they might get in a crisis with all that, with their studying. So this was never difficult for me. in all the countries of the world. I even went to the Mayo Clinic once, and the doctors, they said, oh, that's okay, work on subtle energies and work. I mean, Paracelsus was the first one who said, I don't know if he was the first one, but anyway, he said, you are only a good doctor if you see the invisible. It's easy to see the visible. So he said that. So, I mean, I always was accepted by this.
Also, you work in supporting people who go through, let's say, more conventional therapies, helping them out in the process, right?
Exactly, because you never should. I mean, if someone is doing a chemotherapy, let's say, you have to encourage him that he will get rid of the toxins, and you help him to get rid of the toxins. Because if you talk against that, that's very bad for someone who is already weak and afraid. Because now, the only really bad thing in the world is the fear. I remember in '85, I did a kind of conference with a priest in Cortina. He was a priest, and he called a lot of people. We were about 40, and I had to talk about fear. Because fear is the most important manipulation which is used in the world. So if you already have someone in front of you with a lot of fear, and you make him more fear because this therapy will not be good for him also, that's very bad. You always have to, you always have to adapt and to listen to people. Listening is very important, because listening is the half of the diagnosis, if you listen to people. And they feel comfortable. If you ask them, what can I do for you? They are relaxed, What can I do for you to make you feel at home? So they are opening up. So it's all a question of believing that you don't heal anyone. You don't heal. You are only medium for a higher consciousness. We can say God, I believe in God, or you can say the universe or whatever. But this energy, if you are open and clean, it goes through you, and it always will help you. But it's, our ego always wants to be in the first place. So, I'm a healer, and so I don't like that. I'm not a healer. I just prepare the garden. I prepare the soil, like we do here. I prepare the soil in the best way, and then the seeds, they have to grow by themselves. I cannot grow for the seeds. Okay, so this is, it's not when they say, I know you will heal me. This is the first thing I always tell them, listen, you have to take your responsibility. You have to know. You have to get conscious about things. You have to get aware. If you're not aware, nothing, and just don't talk too much about the past. I mean, it's okay if they tell you their story, but then stop it, because if you only talk about the negatives of the past, negative events, they will grow. Where you give your attention, your energy goes, and it will grow more and more. So negative things will grow. But also if you give attention to the positive will grow.
But what is the most efficient technique you use for yourself in the first time, and then that you've seen functioning on people for this kind of deprogramming that you work on memories, on...
The most important for me,
Yeah.
because everyone has his own way, the most important for me is breathing exercise from yoga and meditation. Meditation, I really believe it's the most important tool to find yourself every day. Because in this kind of world, we have to find ourselves every day. Otherwise, we will be lost. And also, I'm taking 2 pills, one in the morning and one in the evening. In the morning, the pill is called appreciation, and in the evening, the pill is called gratitude. These are 2 important pills. I don't need a lot of other supplements, but these are very important. Because if you are grateful, it just more will come. It's like being in a positive state in a positive mindset. So more of this will come, and things will just, nothing is by coincidence. And things will just change and go in the right way for you. So meditation, I think, is one of the most important tools. Also, they studied meditation. It's not only, it's proven that meditation, you easily go into theta waves, into alpha, theta, sometimes even in delta, and it changes your chemics in the brain. So that's why when you're in theta, your brain is in theta state, you can heal yourself. But I believe, and then I will see. Not the other way around. I see, and then I believe. No, you have to believe, and then you will see it. And I'm 1000% sure about that. So even in my subtle energy therapy, I use a device. And I always tell people when they ask me, what are you doing? Is this electric? No electrics, only subtle energies. It's like the first radio. The first radio, you didn't plug it in, you didn't, it was not electric. You went there and the oscillation, the vibration, you could hear. That was the first radio. So this device, it's subtle energy therapy, uses just the sacred geometry and the fact that everything is a vibration, and all our organs, they have a vibrational signature. So maybe your liver has a vibrational signature of 178, and so on. So if you use that, you will balance and you will clean your system. Because if you clean your system on the energetic level, then you will clean it also on the physical level. But the physical level is the last one. Before you have to clean your higher mental or your lower mental, your spiritual or intuitional, your astral bodies and so on. And then it will have an effect on the physical level. So this device, of course, it's people like this because they immediately go in a deep relaxation because they are very fast in theta. So, of course, they don't have to do anything. They just stay there and it cleans the body. I always tell them they are in the washing machine. The dirt will go away and clean will come back. So, it's a very useful device, but I always want them to be aware of what's going on. Because sometimes then after this, they are dreaming, they have funny dreams, because the subconscious is opening in theta. And of course, a lot of stuff is coming up, good and bad. So you always should be, I think the most important thing is to be aware of everything. Be aware. Not just say, okay, you will do it for me. No, you have to be the part of it.
Coming back to appreciation and gratitude, you've worked, let's say, in most of the countries of the world, of the foreign countries of the world, but in the end you choose Italy as your homeland, as an Austrian. What would you say, since this is the podcast about the Italian map of wellness and spirituality, what it is that attracted you to Italy in the first place, and what it is that still makes you be in love with this country nowadays? From a professional point of view and from a personal point of view.
The personal point of view, first of all, when I was a girl, in school I chose Italian and not French, but I said I never will go to Italy. So it was not in my mind to go to Italy. Then they sent me from Switzerland. I said I need to work, and I was physiotherapist. They said there's only a place in Italy you can go now. I said, what, Italy? I will never go to Italy. But at the end, I came to Italy. And I found, so fantastic people, outstanding and really amazing people in Calabria. And then I fell in love with Rome, with the beauty of Rome. I came here only for a few days, but then I stayed, I tried to work, because I fell in love with the beauty of Rome, and especially with the light, the colors. So then I said, okay, I have to go to Paris. So I went to Paris for 1.5 years, but I really wanted to come back. So most of the northern girls and women, they come to Italy because they fell in love or things like that. No, I really fell in love with Rome and with the beauty of Rome. And
from a professional point of view, what would you say about being a holistic therapist in Italy?
Yeah, as I told you, it was never difficult for me, because they always said, no, Gisela is, I want to have a therapy with Gisela. They didn't even know why. This is what I call the non-verbal communication. There is an energy, it's always a vibration. Also because if you really love what you do, exactly this you will transmit. If you think about something else and you do your work like this, they feel it. Because whatever you think, it's a vibration, and whatever you feel, it's a vibration, and it will go there. So they understand it without knowing why they understand it. Okay, so it was never difficult for me. Everybody said, "Oh my God!" But you are sometimes said, "Oh, she's the mad one," because I remember I learned some therapies from a veterinarian doctor from Austria, and he was in the high mountains, so he was a really tough guy, but very funny things. I just did them, and everybody accepted it. I never had this kind of difficulty because I believed in it. So whatever you believe, you transmit, and people, if you have a doubt, then the doubt will be there. So let's say, what I always say, more meditation and less medication. Right? Because if you are in a low frequency, in a low vibration, if you're not in a higher vibration, you get in resonance with the lower vibration of diseases, of bacteria, of whatever, even psychologically. If you're in a higher vibration, it doesn't resonate. So actually you don't do anything to convince this one or that one. You're just in a different vibration. It's easier than you think.
You take care of the people, but what is your relationship with gardening? How does gardening help you in the maintenance of your energy level? What is the role of gardening in your life?
Gardening, first of all, as I told you in the beginning, I learned that from my mother. It was something essential, you could see a flower, you could see, you really, it's not like now they think really the cows, the milk is coming from the supermarket. No, we really knew what is nature. So gardening for me was a very, it's normal in my upbringing. So gardening today for me, all the time, it was a kind of meditation. Because it's very important to be in silence. Silence is very important to balance yourself. People think they always have to be with something or with someone, or no. Silence and being alone is fundamental. There's something opening, and you learn a lot of things from the noise of silence. If you listen to the noise of silence in the garden or in the field, there are so many messages. So this helps you to be in peace with yourself. It's like a meditation. And also, because the soil is like it's like a human being, So it's all is together. It's years ago I talked about the macrocosmos and the microcosmos all the time. I said I tried to make them understand that our microcosmos is in the macrocosmos, but this was very difficult for me. So I always said I stopped it, and I just insisted in doing, without telling them that, in showing them how, for example, I was talking to a plant, and then the plant got well again. So if you show them things, then it's different than if you talk theoretically. It's sometimes they don't get it, but then you say, "Oh, she's the one. She's talking to the flowers, so she's the one. She's talking to the car." They were smiling, thinking I'm a little bit mad, but they could see. I remember in one apartment with one client, I went there once a week. And it was an old lady, she couldn't come to me. And so I was talking to the plants, because this plant got all the vibration, the sick vibrations from this lady. So the plant was not happy. So I was talking to this plant all the time, and the plant got well, started to... So this is... There they can see it, that there's something... that we are all connected. Because even this being connected, they don't get it. And then also, God is only always there. But Yogananda or Buddha? Yogananda said that God sleeps in the rocks. He wakes up in the flowers. He starts to move in the animals. And then he becomes conscious in the human being. Yogananda said that. So God is all over. It's not,
So God is all over, and where will you be in the next times? Besides from traveling, will you be in Sutri, in your...
I want to, I love to be in Sutri. I always like this place. And yes, of course, I want to be here. Sometimes people are coming here to do some therapy. And I'm very excited about because I can see it. This is something else very important. Just see it how you want it. And if you believe in it, it will be like this. Somehow it will work. So if I can see this healing garden my daughter wants to develop, I can see it. And if I believe in it, and if I don't have doubts, because the doubt is a killer. The doubts are horrible. So they make everything difficult. So just believe in it. It will be like this and it will be like that. So of course yes, I like traveling, but I love to be here in this piece of land. I like it, yes.
There's one last question that we ask to our guests. 3 words, just very intuitively, 3 words that describe you and describe your Weltanschauung as a human being.
Weltanschauung.
3 words.
3 words.
Without thinking.
Good mood. Good mood and optimism goes together. Appreciation and gratitude.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Gisela. Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.
Welcome to God Ours, a podcast and a project specifically designed for all the travelers that come to Italy seeking wellness, spirituality, and the most up-to-date forms of mind and body care.